Let's see. Going live. We are live. Okay. Are there any viewers? How do I see this? Oh, there are 8 people watching. Hi, and welcome to the Orion High School Cross Country Banquet 2020. Can I show them the crowd? Here's your live studio audience. And the woman of the hour, Morgan Leffel Matson. It says Leffel on here. I got confused. Oh, I'm not good at my job. It's okay. It says Leffel on here. I'm sorry.
Thank you for the lively introduction.
You're welcome.
So again, welcome to the 2020 Cross Country Banquet and Awards live broadcast. First and foremost, I want to start off with some thank yous. Thank you everyone for joining in on this year's Cross Country Banquet, whether you are here or whether you are watching live and are not able to be here in person. We still appreciate you viewing. And it seems like every year we say similar things, but I still believe it is important to recognize all the people that get involved throughout the season. First, we would like to thank Coach Hull for being the best co-coach I could ever ask for. I appreciate everything you do for this team, and I know the athletes appreciate it just as much as I do. To the administration and Bus Garage, thank you for being so understanding and flexible with everything that we try to do as a team, with providing buses to not only go to a park just to change up our running scenery, but also to make a trip to our sectional course all the way in Seneca. To the parents, thank you for allowing your students to be on our cross-country team. It is so nice to have a group of parents that are understanding of trying to do what is best for the athletes, even if it is not the most convenient for them, like practicing every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 a.m., and being so understanding with all the craziness of this season. Also, we thank you for the support, whether it is through locker signs on the pole, on the main road, taking pictures, and I'm sure there's so much behind the scenes that we don't even know, and we sincerely thank you. To Mindy for all of the support and coverage she gives to our program. To my husband, James, for making sure the house doesn't fall apart and actually moving into a new house during season, and that our dogs are being taken care of while I was away at cross country meets. And the same for pretty much every day listening to me go back and forth about whether I'm making the right coaching decision and always having sound advice. As a whole program and a whole team throughout many years, we'd like to thank Mr. Hoffman for purchasing our racing tanks this year and even allowing our athletes to keep them. He does so much for this team and this program, and thank you. I don't think will ever be enough. And finally, to the athletes, thank you for making this the best job ever. When I started coaching cross country a few years ago, I wasn't quite sure what I was getting into, but I haven't regretted it a single second. You are all a joy to coach, and I'm truly blessed to have had this season with you. This is usually the point in time when we reflect on some successes that we had this season with winning different meets or different hardware that we brought home from different invites. But this season was a little different, and we did not have any invites, so we had to find successes elsewhere. Most of our meets consisted of 3 teams, and there were no plaques to take home. However, we did find success throughout its entirety. The girls team went undefeated in conference, earning themselves the crown of a 3P conference championship, and 4 of those girls were awarded unanimous all-conference. And those 4 girls are Maren Bollinger, Kylie Burge, Olivia Thompson, and Izzy Nordstrom. And if you are here, would you please come up and grab your certificates?
You want us to wave? Oh my. Wait, why don't you wave? We have to come on the show.
They can imagine.
They can hear you, Izzy. Okay. The girls team also qualified to advance from regionals to sectionals and finished at sectionals with our highest place in my tenure as a cross country coach with a 6th place finish. Though the boys did not advance onto sectionals, they found success in setting personal bests and finishing in 8th place at regionals, which is one of the best finishes our boys team has had, only 2 places behind our best ever. So congratulations to the boys team as well. Our training was a little more individualized this season than it has been in the past, and so not everyone ran the same amount of mileage every week. But I did want to throw some numbers out there so you and your parents know about how many miles you ran this cross country season. We had miles ranking from 20 miles a week to 40, and if you ran 20 miles a week, you ran about 240 miles the whole season. If you ran 25 miles a week, it was about 300. 300 miles a week totaled about 360. 35 miles a week was about 420, and if you reached the top of 40 miles a week, it ended with about 480 miles on your legs. That is a crazy amount of running, and you all did a pretty good job with handling all of that load. As we continue, I would like to have all the members of each class come up together, and we will recognize you all. When you come up here, I ask you to stand a good distance away from each other, but also to grab your own certificates on your way up. We are going to start with our freshman class, and we are going to have Olivia Thompson, Nick Shillington, Kate Hancock, and Gus Nedved. Nick Shillington and Kate Hancock are not able to be with us tonight, so we have Olivia and Gus. They should be in alphabetical order. Girls on the top, boys in the next row. Okay. No matter the sport, it is always a little shock to the system coming into high school, let alone during a pandemic. The workouts are longer and harder. The time commitment is more, and you are not only competing against athletes your own age, but you're competing against athletes who are 3 years older than you. These 4 athletes did a wonderful job adapting to the new level of competition and improved so much through the season. 2 of our freshmen, the 2 standing here with us right now, Olivia and Gus, were able to earn varsity letters this year as they were both in the top 7 of their respective teams, in which Olivia even earned the top runner spot at several meets. Nick was right on the border of being in the top 10 and top 7 and has a very bright future in the sport. And even though Cade was plagued with some illnesses throughout the season, he made huge improvements, and I look forward to watching him run again in the upcoming seasons. Thank you for a great year. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our now sophomore cross-country runners. Okay, next, I would like to have this year's sophomore runners come on up. Our sophomore class consisted of Luke Moen, Caden Wegerer, Eric Thorndike, Milena Meisenberg, and Mary Moore. With us tonight, we have Caden Wegerer, Eric Thorndike, and Milena Meisenberg. As freshmen, Eric and Mel were actually the only 2 of this group that competed in cross country. So we weren't sure what we had coming in with this group as runners. Eric was not in our top 7 last year, but burst onto the scene as a sophomore and earned the 3rd position on the varsity team. Mel continued her success from last year and ended the season as our number 5 runner. Luke and Caden were brought to us by a lack of a soccer season, and I sure hope soccer is postponed again next year to keep these guys with us. Luke has a very natural gift as a runner, and Caden was a lot of fun and a great teammate. Mary told me during track season last year that she doesn't run over 200 meters, but she proved herself wrong by making it through an entire season, running more miles than she ever has in her whole life. Thanks for a wonderful season, sophomores, and I look forward to the next cross-country season with you as upperclassmen. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for our next year's junior runners. Can I please have this year's juniors?
Oh, 4. Wow, and then there were 4.
And then there were So our junior class this year consists of Leah Sears, Izzy Nordstrom, Maggie Nedved, and Kate Sharpman.
We're supposed to distance.
Okay. So our junior class has actually shrunk a little from last year, but that didn't seem to affect this group at all. Kate and Izzy were our 2 juniors that made it onto the varsity squads this year. Izzy ended the season with our fastest girl time, racing 3 miles in sub 20 minutes. Kate stayed strong and consistent throughout the season and ended as our 4th runner on the boys team. Though Maggie and Leah didn't have the year they wanted, they still showed their heart and love for the sport and for their teammates by sticking it out and never giving up. These 4 will return next season as our seniors. and I expect great leadership to come from them as they will be setting the standard and following in some great footsteps from this year's seniors. Thank you for a fantastic season, ladies and gentlemen. One more time for next year's senior class. And last but not least, can I have this year's seniors? Our senior class is Lily Moen, Maren Bollinger, Rachel Van Dyne, Kylie Burge, Eli Kaiser, Colin Meisenberg, Colin Langley, Nathaniel Monzon, Joshua Springer, Billy Nissen, Ethan Moran, and Clayton Browning, who definitely could not be here in person, but we hope you are enjoying your new home, but we do miss you. So as you could tell from that long list of names that I just said, half of our team is made up of our senior class. This is the strongest group of runners we have had in both numbers and leadership. I could spend all day up here talking about each one of these athletes and the amazing careers they have had and how much we are all going to miss them. But like I said, I'd be here all day. Billy and Ethan, congratulations. You never have to race 3 miles again if you never want to. However, we will miss your DJing at our meets, with Billy walking around the courses with his massive speaker and playing whatever the kids requested. Joshua, I know we only got you because soccer was postponed, but we were so glad you chose to join us. You fit right in with this crew, and it was like you had been a part of this family the whole time. I'm glad you were able to fight through some pains this season with your knee and finish strong with the PR. Colin, Colin, and Nathaniel, I am so glad Eli was able to convince you guys to come out for cross country. I couldn't imagine what our team would be like without you guys here. You three have had some great races, and I'm extremely proud of what you have accomplished and what you have brought this program. Eli, thank you for an amazing 4 years. You made this cross-country program what it is, and we are so thankful for you. You have the desire to be great, and I hope you never lose that fire. Kylie, I am so glad you were able to be a part of our family. I know it is a little different from what you were used to at Moline, but I believe we were blessed to have you join us this season. I know it's hard at times, but you fought through it and were able to have a great senior season, and we are so proud of what you accomplished both on and off the race course. Rachel, even though you're not here, I wanted you to know that I think I am most proud of you and what you did this season. I think you surpassed your own expectations and were able to make it onto our varsity team and run at regionals and sectionals and even come out with a 2-minute PR. I'm going to miss your spunk and willingness to do whatever is asked of you, even if you're on quarantine. Lily and Marin, the only 2 girls that have been here since the beginning. You bring more to this team than just fast times. You bring pride, you bring a sense of comfort, dedication, and discipline. You two are the standard that every cross-country athlete strives to obtain. Seniors, it's been one heck of a ride. I love you all, and we'll miss you all very much. Oh my gosh, we'll miss you all very much next year. It definitely won't be the same without you. Can everyone please give these now cross-country alumni a round of applause? Go ahead. Okay. For the first time ever, I had the athletes vote and choose who would be the recipients of this year's award. Not only did they vote on who they thought deserved the award, but they had to tell me why, and I think that was the best part of the entire process. So when I give the awards out, I'm going to tell you why you earned this award, not from my perspective, not from Coach Hull's perspective, but from the words of your teammates. We are going to start with the most valuable runners, and we are going to start with the boys team. So can I please have Colin Meisenberg join me as he was voted as our 2020 male's most valuable runners. We don't have your plaques right now, so you guys get these fun little awards. Okay. So Colin, in the words of your teammates, you made this season what it was. You encouraged everyone. He was a coach to us girls at every meet. He was happy when Luke beat him and the two worked together. Colin stayed happy and involved in the team even when their family was hit by a hard loss. Colin pushed himself all season and pushed everyone else with him. He is very supportive of all the runners. He pushes every one of us to be the best runners. He truly loves this sport and has a huge passion for it. He was consistently the #1 runner for the first part of the year. and then second or first for the second half. He was there for everyone on the team. He would yell out our times during the meet and say encouraging words. He wasn't just dedicated to himself, he was dedicated to the team. He liked to help any of the runners that needed it. He pushed himself and he pushed everyone else. During the past couple of days, well, this was when they wrote it, the past couple of days he had been running with Marin to help her get ready for Friday. He always knew what he was supposed to do and never complained. He also kept the other boys in shape and called them out when they needed it. He works the most out of everyone and pushes himself over the limit. He is always cheering everybody on. He is respectable and always takes responsibility. Congrats, Colin, on an amazing career and an even better senior year. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And one more hand for our male most valuable runner. And now for our most valuable runner for the ladies team, Marin Bollinger. In the words of your teammates, Marin, you didn't have the season you were hoping for, but never once did you stop pushing. You overcame the personal hurdle of having inter-team competition. You pushed through injury, and if you didn't lead in time, you led in spirit. Marin was kind to me and had genuine encouragement for me when I beat her at regionals. When she beat me at sectionals, she followed up with me later to make sure I was okay. Marin is strong and loving, full of what this team represents. I have never seen anyone who is more dedicated than Marin when it comes to running. She does everything she possibly can to improve during the season. Not to mention she is a great leader who is always there for the younger runners and shows them how they should behave. She wasn't the fastest this season, but would not give up. She would tell me that she was frustrated when some of the other girls would beat her, but she would try and beat them the next time, no matter what. Marin is always giving 110% at practices and cheering on the rest of her team. She always wanted the best for the team, and it really showed in her attitude. She always showed up with a positive mindset and encouraged others to do the same. Marin has always been one of the team's fastest runners. She represents everything a good cross-country runner is, and she shows it as team captain. Was this self-appointed team captain or was it team captain? She wasn't dedicated to herself. She was dedicated to the team. She was there for the team no matter what. Congrats, Marin, on an amazing career and being awarded the 2020 Girls Most Valuable Runner. We wish you nothing but the best, and can everyone please give Marin another round of applause. Our final award is the Prefontaine Award. This is usually given to someone who displays true grit or heart or another amazing characteristic throughout the season or in any individual race. This year, our team thought that two people deserved this award because they both received the same amount of votes. Those two people are Izzy Nordstrom and Kylie Birch. Kylie is not here with us, but we have Izzy. So I'm going to start with Kylie. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the most valuable runners, and I'm going to read what their teammates wrote about them. For Kylie, seeing her mentality progress throughout the season was amazing. She learned to be okay with where she was and to push herself to get even better, even if it isn't where she once was. Kylie excelled on our hardest courses and finished every race strong. She gave our team a chance for her senior year, and I'm so thankful she could spend her last season with us. This girl worked so hard inside and outside of practice. At the beginning of the season, she was quiet, and I could tell she didn't feel at ease with the team. Although she did not run the time she may have wanted, by the end of the season, she was confident in herself. She stepped outside her comfort zone and began bonding with the team. She even took days off work. Like, what? Thank you, Kylie, and good luck with the Army. We appreciate you spending your last season with us. And now for Izzy. Izzy has displayed all of these qualities that deserve a Prefontaine Award at the regionals race. The team had seemed down after Olivia's race and was about to call it quits until Izzy showed all of the girls that they have a chance to go to sectionals by running a sub 20-minute 5K and having the girls' fastest time of the year. Even before then, Izzy can be seen on the sidelines cheering on the boys team after going through a tough race or a tough week. Izzy has always been there to send out support for both teams and make sure that no one thinks down on themselves. Izzy is always on the sides of our races, yelling louder than anyone else. She's the team's cornerstone who keeps running lively and builds others' strengths. Our personal records, no doubt, are at least partly because of her unrelenting support. It's not just us, but her too, who reaps the rewards. Great season, Izzy, and we look forward to what you will do as a senior. Like I mentioned before, it was a joy to coach all of these athletes this year. I had so much fun with the team bonding and having such a massive team. Getting to know each and every one of you has been a blessing. Every year comes a new combination of athletes and personalities, which always presents a new way to look at coaching, motivation, strategies, and the goodbyes always get a little bit harder. But I know we can all take away that hard work and dedication get us to the finish line. A little competition brings out the best in us, and that cross country is truly better than Match.com. Thank you all for coming and listening and watching, and have a great rest of the evening.
That was smooth.